What is up, guys? Goody here, and welcome to another NTW3 mod video. So today we're going to be trying to play another historical battle, and this is the Battle of New Orleans. So we have the British here. They're going to be attacking enemy positions, and they're coming in from the sea. As you can tell, there are some ships in the distance. They did unload all the British troops, and now they're going to be facing the Americans. Now the officer in command of this attack is Edward. He's actually going to be on foot with his soldiers, and he's going to be leading his men into battle. Now facing the British, like I said, are the Americans, and the officer that's going to be controlling them is Andrew Jackson. So this is pretty much his first big debut on the battlefield. Very important battle today, and historically the Americans did win under Andrew Jackson's command, and this is what led him to becoming a very popular guy, and actually, made him go and run for president because of his popularity. Now, as we all know, Andrew Jackson had his good sides and his bad sides. I'm pretty sure all presidents do. And there's a lot of stuff, good and bad, that was talked about him. But overall, on the battlefield, he was an excellent leader. And hopefully, today he can lead once again and win against the British. So as you can tell, the Americans have set up fortifications. They do have some stone walls here, and I got the volunteers. Now the Americans are underclassed compared to the British troops, but that does not mean they cannot win this. As you can tell, these fortifications are going to be playing a huge role in this battle. Now taking a look at the map, as you can tell, I'm going to be attacking from two sides of the battlefield, one from each peninsula, and I'm going to be pushing in. So let's go for my army costs before this battle does fully engage. So got a lot of British foot, Highland foot, 32nd, some more British foot, the 66th, got Brunswick Lights, 23rd Peninsula, 48 foot, a wide variety of troops. They are all forming up for battle right now. That one actually killing someone. There he goes. First casualty, or first couple of casualties of the battle due to American artillery. Taking a look on the left flank, I brought similar troops, a little bit less on numbers, but I did bring some Spanish lancers. Now historically there were no lancers on the battlefield, but it is cool to see some cavalry here and there. So Americans ready for the fight. Got the Maryland militia. For a militia unit, they do have some pretty nice uniforms. Something that I would think would be a much more elite unit, but I guess not. So the battle is now starting to unfold. Got the lights now engaging, as well as some line infantry. And you see the Americans are going all in right now, trying to get as many shots off as possible. The Americans do have quite a bit of a reserve force here under Jackson's command. He's also brought the Marines. So we got the 22nd here and the Marines. Now the Marines are going to be playing a huge role in this battle. These guys are the most elite unit for the Americans, and they're going to really influence who will win this game. As you can tell, the rifles are already breaking from the battlefield, seeing that they were the first ones in. They took the most amount of losses, and as a result, they are already gone. Now, taking a look from a bird's eye perspective, I do control and have a lot more troops on the right flank than the Americans do. And that's going to really help me out in the long run, because over a long period of time, it's going to allow me to get many more shots off than the Americans. And look at those volleys from the artillery. You see American morale starting to waver, and I'm also going to be charging in with my Spanish Lancers into the Rangers. Question is, will they make it? Yes, they will, but morale goes very bad after that one quick volley. And as a result, Rangers do win in that engagement, but here comes the Maryland Dragoons charging in and into their own guys. Look at that morale drop, and just like that, those guys are gone from the battlefield, killing their own men. Huge mistake on their point, or their end. But look at this, 22nd line infantry forming square. But seeing that the cavalry did break from the battlefield, he's going to reform his line and start engaging once again against the 71st Lightfoot. It's taking them a very long time to set up. Now, one thing I am going to be doing this entire battle is I'm going to be walking my guys. So everywhere I'm going, I'm going to be marching them. And that's just because it's going to keep their stamina very, very high, as well as keep things very organized. So I don't have to worry about troops running across the battlefield and taking forever to form up. They're all going to be united as one and at a constant pace assaulting enemy positions. As you can tell, the artillery is doing me no favors right now, ripping through my lines. I'm killing 2 guys. Let's check out this next volley. And he's going to be shooting canister. That's going to really devastate my lines. But taking a look on this left flank, I am doing a lot of damage to his troops. Morale very, very weak. I am not losing many troops on this side whatsoever. British troops have some very, very good skills. And one of them is accuracy. So over here, as you can tell, the canister did hit my lines, and that instantly dropped the morale of my men, even though they did not lose many guys. Just seeing those canister volleys being fired is causing a lot of trauma. That one actually killing the flag bearer, and actually the officer as well. So all we have now is the drummer boy. But things are really starting to pick up now. Action is all over the battlefields. We have some more line infantry engaging here. But the Voluntarios, seeing that they're behind, some fortifications, it's actually going to really help them out. But look at this, British troops now marching up even closer to enemy positions. I'm doing this so they can get some more accurate shots, but in the meantime, Americans are going to have a very fun time shooting my guys as they do form up. And canister is going to be very devastating from this range. That volley actually breaking that unit, so really can't underestimate the American artillery. And it looks like the British artillery from my side actually managed to hit and knock over some American troops, so they're doing some really good job, or a really good job over there. British artillery taking a beating right now, losing a lot of troops. And now the reinforcements are being sent in. Andrew Jackson is seeing that the front line is starting to waver, so he's going to be sending over some fresh troops to try and inspire the men to keep fighting. So after I pushed the Americans back, they're actually going to be falling back to this hill. And the Rangers did come back from the battlefield, and they're going to be shooting my 71st Lights. Also, now I have a square formation set, and that was because I did get the Maryland Dragoons behind me. Now, sadly, they did take out my artillery, and as you can tell, complete devastation. Not a single horse lost in this battle. So big waste of money there. They were not really able to fire that much, but luckily I did form square with all my units and broke them, so that's going to really help me out. You got the Rangers on the beach right now shooting my flank through the woods. But taking a look back on this left flank, I did set up some more Spanish cavalry over here, and that was just because they were getting shot by a lot of stray volleys in the center. So by moving them over to the left, it's going to allow me to get some really good flanking fire. And if things do go bad, I'm going to be pushing them up. So over here, I'm actually doing a really good job in breaking the American center. Their artillery did break, and now some line infantry is going to be filling the gap. We have Andrew Jackson in the back. He's already lost 4 guys, but he is still alive. Let's try and take a look at where Edward is on the battlefield. I think he's more on my left flank. Here he is, Edward. In the heat of battle. Oh, the guy right next to him getting shot, and Edward, he's actually breaking from the battlefield. What is he doing? Why is he running towards the Americans? I don't know. Wow, very interesting right there. So, British general actually breaking from the battlefield. Now, I did form square with my British troops. There was a cavalry charge coming in by another Maryland Dragoon unit, but I formed up at the appropriate time and managed to beat back that unit. So now I'm going to be forming back up into line formation. Like I said, walking my guys into combat, and now a charge from the Volunteers. charging into my troops. Will I get a counter charge? We will see. And it looks like I will. So a very slow charge by the volunteers is going to allow me to get a very nice charge in. There goes one volunteer unit, but the line infantry are now going to be filling in the positions of the volunteers. Going to continue my charge onwards. And there, my general is dead. So Edward is gone from the battlefield. You can see my British troops pushing over the stone wall or fortifications and now into melee combat. You see they're having a very tough time trying to win this engagement, but it does look like the Americans are broken. And just like that, the right flank has totally collapsed. Now, as for the center, things are getting very weak for him as well. And now my cavalry is coming in. This is something the volunteers really don't want to see. And let's just take a look at how deadly this volley is going to be. Their charge, look at that. Completely slaughtering these volunteers, charging over the barricade and into the lines. And just like that, volunteers now breaking on the left flank. We do have the Marines here. And they're getting some really good shots into my Spanish Lancers. Spanish Lancers actually break before they can get into combat, but the charge into the Marines, not a good idea at all. Getting slaughtered as they charge in, and as a result, these guys are not coming back. As for on the far left flank, Americans' right flank, things are looking fairly good. I am pushing back a lot of their troops, and it seems like the numbers are pretty even, so I should be able to win out on this side of the battlefield. But still, we got these Rangers here. They're causing a lot of damage on my flank. I do need to see them gone from the battlefield, but let's take a look at where Edward did die. Looks like his routing unit charged into some line infantry. Huge mistake by Edward in his movements, but the British will continue. Another big melee clash in the center, and the Americans are actually holding back the British right now, breaking a lot of troops. And they're going to be, once again, routing into American positions, something you do not want to see. And now the Highland Foot up against some line infantry. Both have very, very bad morale. But it looks like the Highland Foot are starting to win out. Another engagement on this right flank. British Foot up against some more line infantry. And just a massive melee engagement all around. Breaking even more American units. Volunteers now getting charged into. And once again, they are also breaking on impact. So right flank completely collapsing, but the Americans are doing a pretty good job at holding. They are starting to break a lot of my units as well, but I do have a pretty good amount of troops on the far right flank. But look at this, a lot of American troops are starting to come back from the battlefields. We even have the artillery crew. They are back in action, and hopefully they can get back on their guns to start shooting. But look at how many Americans are now routing from the battlefield. Huge numbers are gone. Hopefully they do come back, because there are a lot routing. So the Americans are not looking good. The center, it seems to be pretty even, but with the artillery now gone, things are once again looking like the British will win. Over here I have overrun American positions. As you can tell, I'm taking hold of their defenses and using them to my advantage now. But we still have a unit on this hill. It's going to be very hard assaulting, but I do have the numbers to try and overwhelm them. 2-1. And over here on the beach, the engagement is still continuing, forming up my troops. And the Rangers now going to get a complete volley from my line infantry. And these guys are going to break very, very shortly. They do not have the men and skill to hold up against these British lines, so they will be breaking soon. And the Maryland militia up against some Highlanders. Don't think they will hold out either, so things are looking very good for me on the left flank. As for the right flank, things have somewhat evened out. Looks like some of these troops are starting to form back up, and they're going to be setting up another defense, this time against the British Foot and Highland Foot. So we will see how these regular line infantry do up against the British. Now, like I said before, Andrew Jackson is still alive, and my general is dead. So that can be a huge influence on who will win. Let's take a look at where Andrew Jackson is. Should be somewhere in the center. Here he is, looking strong. Oh, artillery coming in. That shot right over the general. I'm not trying to general snipe. That would not be something that the British would do. They are very classic and make smart moves and have an honor system for their enemy, even though they are fighting in the heat of battle. So the Maryland militia now breaking from the battlefield, but like I said, more troops coming back. I mean, look at the stream of... These guys only lost 90 guys, and they are routed from the battlefield. 22nd trying to hold on with what they can. 95 up against 183. I am marching up very close to the American positions. I do have the numbers, to take some pretty heavy losses before I do get into combat. But every volley they fire seems to be killing a lot of my guys. American troops now being sent in some more, and here we go. Marines now at the front lines. We will see what I can do. They are absolutely destroying my 88 foot. And there goes the charge, so charging in. I don't think I will be able to countercharge here. Yes, I won't. And they break on impact, but here goes my Portuguese troops charging into the Marines. Marines, very bad morale. And look at that, the Portuguese actually managing to break the Marines. That is a game changer for sure. So now the Americans are in some very, very bad trouble. Right flank completely gone. Hopefully some units do come back from the battlefield. And look at this. Americans and British routing in the same direction with the same... That is very awkward to see. Routing together. Huh. Alright, well, we'll move on from that, but a lot of troops still routing from the battlefield, but the right flank is mine, the left flank is mine. And the only battle that's now occurring is in the center. So Andrew Jackson is going to try and find a place to charge. Seeing that his men are routing, he wants to try and waver the men to come back. So he's going to be trying to do his best to keep them from coming, or routing. And it looks like the artillery is actually targeting Andrew Jackson. Something the British would never want to do. Let's take a look at where Andrew Jackson is. He himself is now breaking from the battlefield on his horse, running away. 14 men left. He's going to be routing with his men as well. I do not think he will come back from the battlefield. So, it is up to his men now to win the battlefield. To win the battlefield. What am I saying? To win the game. To win the battlefield. I mean, that could make sense. Gotta win the battlefield. Maybe. Maybe I'm not. Right? I don't know, guys. But anyways, moving on. Let's just take a look at the casualties. As you can see, some extreme losses on both sides of the battlefield. And you can see a lot more losses for the Americans. I did have a couple British units charged in here, so a mix-up between the two. But for the most part, Americans did take some pretty heavy losses compared to the British. Over here, looks like some American troops are coming back from the battlefields. Man, what is English? Can I not talk today? So Maryland militia now gone from the battlefield. Couple of units left for the Americans. Have another engagement here. Volunteers up against the 5th foot. And we're going to fast forward just a little bit. So a lot of units routing and coming back. It was getting very, very annoying for me. And look at this. No mercy is shown for the Marines. Actually going to be charging in from all sides. Knowing that these guys are so elite, I don't want them coming back. And look at those numbers drop like crazy. Down to 70 men. 50 men. They are completely gone. And there they go. So a couple units left on the battlefield now. And it is pretty much a matter of time before the British will end up winning this. Oh, looks like Andrew Jackson did come back from the battlefield. And he's going to be charging into the 71st Light Infantry. Interesting to see him back on the battlefield. Maybe he can change the tide of the battle. Who knows? But a very good charge by Andrew Jackson. Here he is in the back. Looks like he's not getting too much momentum. Killing a couple British troops, but nothing significant to rout this entire unit. And there he goes, routing again from the battlefield. Maryland militia getting shot point blank from some British troops. Oh man. Now, if you're in the army and you're missing shots that are maybe 10 feet away from you, that is just no exception. I don't care if your gun is horrible. There is no way in hell you should be missing those shots. But anyways, down to the couple units that are left. I think down to 4 units left. Maybe 5. Actually 4. 4 units left. But here they are. We got the artillery now charging in. And breaking before they do get into combat. Same over here, charging in with my 66 foot up against some line infantry. Line infantry not going to last too long. They're going to break very, very quickly. Actually, they're holding on pretty well despite, you know, what's going on here. Both units are exhausted. 66 with 103 up against some line infantry with 123. Who will win out, though, is the question. It looks like the British are starting to gain the upper hand. It says winning slightly, and there goes the Americans. So that is the battle, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Was a ton of fun to play. And look at the losses. So, 2,800 losses for me. And 4,600 losses for the Americans. Taking a look at how many troops were deployed, I deployed around 5,000, and the Americans deployed around almost 6,000. So, lots of deaths for sure, and a pretty clear victory for the British. So, they were able to change the tide and change history. Now, taking a look at the kills, 71st Light Infantry on the far left flank, getting 493 kills and only 92 losses. Some incredible stats. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what historical battle I should play next. Having a lot of fun with the NTW3 mod, and I just want to let you guys know what I should do next. So that is it, guys. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Controls you.